Starting now.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of a Mindful Podcast. I'm your host, Gabe, and I am joined with Brad and Johnny. I can't be more excited about this episode. It is our 1-year anniversary.
It's a special day.
It's not technically on the day, but the episode after our 1-year anniversary hit, which I believe, what was it, Johnny? Did you say it was the 9th or did we?
The 5th.
The 5th? Okay, so it was actually last time we
So it was last episode.
It was exactly last episode. So we're late. But I think for us, this episode, we want to look back at just the year that we had, our first year as a podcast and kind of reviewing it, as well as talking some recent sports news. But on this episode, mainly focusing just on our podcast and how we kind of grew from the first day and reminiscing from that. So let's get started, boys. What was your guys' favorite memory of the last year on this podcast?
Probably me and Brad eating the last dab.
I was thinking the last dab too. Either that or the chip.
Just because it was just an experience for me and Brad.
And my butthole. Hey, to be fair.
Well, that wasn't on the podcast.
Yeah. That was definitely before we were posting video on YouTube. To be fair, that entire bottle of hot sauce it's gone. I ordered a second one and finished that one too. I fucking love that shit.
I have avoided it and I threw it out.
It just for you, it just tastes good. Is that like?
I put that shit on like everything. It's like 9 out of 10 times when I make eggs, I put it on them.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So like for you, you just gain a tolerance for like that heat.
I just like pain. It's what gets me off.
It is still painful, like every time.
Oh fuck yeah! Every time.
No,
Yeah.
Why?
He would do this.
I don't know. I just like it.
He would do this at work too. So
Yeah.
it's nothing new. It's nothing new. He would eat habaneros for fun. He would, just go to Buffalo Wild Wings and just get the hottest wings possible just cause.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
For me would probably be a moment that actually didn't end up on the podcast, and it was the draft. Watching that live with you guys, like while recording. I feel like we've watched the draft together a lot, but to like actually kind of be like trying to work and trying to like build something that you're becoming a part of. And I think that was just like the coolest thing was I think because it was our first event, like, you know what I mean? Sporting event besides that would have been because the next one.
Because we didn't have shit in the beginning.
Yeah. And so for that one was when it felt like, oh man, I think this is going to be a fun year.
Yeah, that was like kind of the kickoff. Because what did we started our podcast at the actual worst time to start a podcast based on sports. But what did we what were we covering in the beginning? I know it was like NFL trade news.
And
baseball news because it had just been canceled.
A lot of COVID.
Like a lot of COVID issues.
And as well as we made up a lot of topics.
Right.
We were kind of discussing a lot of just sports topics throughout history.
Yeah, it's just like, or random shit would happen in like, real life in the sports world, just something completely random. And then we just come up with like a fun topic off of that.
Right.
Also, thank you UFC because
I was gonna say the UFC came back like 2 months later.
If it wasn't for UFC, I think we would have just fizzled out.
Yeah, 100%.
Because UFC was like, oh, everyone's like, oh, we could have sports back, and then like sports became a thing, and thank goodness to UFC. So
yeah, what kept us busy for the first like month too was the draft.
Yeah,
right.
Because we were just prepping. Yeah, we did the mock. We did like our our rankings, did all that stuff leading up to the draft, and then once the draft happened, it's like, okay, what do we do now?
We did our fantasy football on here too, didn't we?
No, I think we
discussed it.
Okay.
I was gonna say what also I liked is that it allowed me to like actually watch more sports. Made me like watch sports. Sports is when Sarah was like, "Are you still watching a game?" I'm like, "I'm working." Like I got to watch day 2 and day 3 of the draft because I'm like, I have to. I'm like working, okay? Like it's for the podcast. I brought down a notebook and a pencil, like wrote up bullshit and just like I'm taking notes. So like,
Yeah. And she's like, man, that pencil hasn't moved in fucking 6 months. Yeah.
It was also the amount of times we forgot to record.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Well, we had to throw out like 3 whole episodes.
It reminds me of when me and Brad tried to do a baking show.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just like, yeah, we'll just talk and we'll just talk and we'll talk and we'll just let it go and like whatever comes to our head. And then so we're like, we talked for like 5 minutes and then we're like, oh, the baseball games are on. And then so we have the baseball game, and then we're like, dude, someone's gonna have to sit through like 40 minutes of editing. I'm like, don't worry, I'll timestamp them. And then I quickly realized once I cut out whatever I timestamped,
the first section, you're fucked.
All the other timestamps are done. And we're just like, all right, you just want to watch baseball and just cut the recording.
We wound up with 25 minutes of unusable audio. Like maybe if we cut it down, we would have had 1.5 minutes. Because it was just silence and dumb shit like, what should we be talking about?
Yeah, we like discussed Lord of the Rings for like 10 minutes and then went off everything.
That might have been before I even watched it, because since we've been doing this, like I want to say when we started the podcast, I still hadn't seen the movies.
Yes.
But I think you kind of forced me to.
I did. I said you have to watch that.
Yeah, they were good. The Hobbit sucked, but they were good.
What's one that definitely just doesn't have to be your favorite, but definitely stands out? It probably would be your favorite, but one that just like, for some odd reason, you're just like, I remember this moment.
A funny one was when Jaime went on his like literally like a 15-minute rant about why Michael Thomas wasn't as good as wasn't the best receiver, and then everyone was just dead silent, just like texting.
Yeah. And it was like ear rapey volume levels.
Like it was really funny because I was like, obviously before we did the webcams, or like I think we were still on Zoom, but we weren't recording them for like YouTube. And all of us were just on our phones after like 4 minutes of it. And I felt so bad because I was like, if I don't feel like watching this or listening to it, and I'm like in front of this guy, like I just feel so bad for the listeners. And I remember at like one point, I like look up and he's still talking. I'm like, are you still on this? Like, dude, I went through all of my feeds. Like I went through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Like I'm done, dude. God. How is it still going on?
I liked how after, because at some point in there, he said, and that's, at the very end, he's like, and that's all I have to say about that. And I had to edit that. So I cut out everything he said, except for, Michael Thomas is not the best receiver in the league. And I cut everything else out, left it to where he said, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And I sent it to him and he got super mad.
Oh my gosh.
So I have Spotify brought up. I pulled up our page because I wanted to just look at them for just shit to jog our memory. The first episode we did was actually on a UFC event, 249.
Oh, what was 240? I remember we did bets at those times where
we were betting on the fighters and the over-unders and everything, right?
Yeah, we each gave like a faux $500 and to see who could make the most money using that on a card. And I just felt like the bets were just so outrageous for how like many times we would have to do this that I was like, I can't do this anymore. I lost all of them. I don't think there was a single one I didn't lose. So I was just like, bro, can we do something less?
It was getting tough to come up with a new thing for the loser to do too. It's like, how can we be that mean over and over again?
I'm like, dude, I think my liver's shot if we do any more of these. Let's
start off. I forgot you had to do beer shots.
They were all your idea.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, let's do something I know I can do.
Yeah,
I don't want to eat spice. And I was like, first of all, they had me have a habanero and I was freaking shits because I like never had one. And then I tried one and I was like, oh, okay, it's not bad at all. Like it made me like cough because of the seeds. And I just had to drink water. But like compared to the other spice that we've had, like I don't want to do that. I don't want to take the dab. I don't want to eat the chip. So I'm like, drink. I will drink. I'll drink piss drunk, but I just don't want to eat spicy shit.
You lost like the first 4, huh?
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. Every single one we've done, no one else lost. It was me.
No, I think I lost one.
No, I lost one.
Oh,
Yeah,
because of the
yeah.
stupid. And then this guy gets a pickle.
That's
hate
right.
pickles.
Johnny had to
I hate
I
pickles, man.
taint my liver. Just completely gone. And this guy eats a pickle.
I hate pickles, man.
Oh my god.
I'll eat anything spicy opposed to a pickle.
Because I love throwing up like 50 or 65 shots of beer.
Oh. No, okay. So I'm looking at we first started recording when UFC 249 was announced. That was Gaethje and
Ferguson.
Gaethje and Ferguson. So that was our first episode, was just kind of talking about that announcement. Then we went to a new update, talked about the NFL All-Decade team, the mock draft, Raiders and Niners. Yeah, we were just literally talking about draft for 4 or 5 straight episodes. And then we did our best and worst moments in sports.
That was a fun one.
That was a fun one. Yeah. Yeah, that was, and then that's when the UFC really started back up, was in May, and then we got rolling. So yeah, we had 1 month of recording without anything to talk about.
Yeah, dude, it was so rough. Like you were so right. We did it at the worst time, where like sports is like on the verge of canceling, and we're like, let's discuss recent news in sports. It's gone.
Yeah. We
COVID
really
fucked it up. So
we really wanted a podcast to just talk about COVID. But
I mean, we definitely started it because of what everyone else thinks is just like shooting the shit with your buddies. And then you're just like, we're pretty funny people. I think people would listen to us. And then every group of friends think that.
yeah.
I just love how we started off so fucking like stale.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like we're just like fucking like just like reading off of it was like as if we were just reading off a paper. Like,
Yeah.
Because
just,
we
like,
were doing
robots
point by
and-
point, where it was like we had the every minute of the podcast fucking written out on a piece of
Yeah.
paper, because we thought that was how we were supposed to do it.
And
Yeah.
I think that's why I like what we're doing, is because, like I said, how it got started, a bunch of friends just shooting the shit. So when we saw initially, when we like planned everything and had it, we just lost the whole reason why we wanted to do the podcast in the first place. And then so like, I think for us, understanding that the first year is going to be absolute dog shit, and like really not pressuring us, because we figured if we can like get past all this stuff and make it to like year 2 and year 3, like that's when we'll like really, fine tune this shit and like see results. But like, I'm like, bro, I don't want to burn myself out so fucking fast and then just like not do this again. Like, you have to understand, your first year is complete learning curve. What did right, what didn't, and having fun along the way. And that's kind of why I like this episode, is to review the fun that we've actually had here.
Yeah, because I feel like we've fallen into more of like our defined, like how we do this now. It's just kind of go over recent sports news, bullshit about whatever, and just talk about what's funny or interesting. And
How many times we can stick porn jokes into an episode and still try to get monetized? Like,
yeah. And then if anyone listens all the way, how many times we can slip bye into the end of a podcast? Do you guys, when you're editing, because when we do the outro, if I'm re-listening to an episode, I don't listen to the outro. Do you guys leave those in, or is it just me?
oh, I
I
leave
leave
them
them
all
in.
in.
Oh, okay, good.
The only thing I cut out is when all of us are going blank.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
the last moment, just because of like, I don't really, someone has it on for an extra 13 seconds.
And
But
if I can sneaky cut out an or an here or there.
Oh,
I
dude, there was a
remember-
lot of those in the beginning.
oh, dude,
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
I stopped cutting them out. I was like, it just sounds so fake when you go like, when you're like listening back, and it's like, that's when and it just like cuts in and out.
Oh no, yeah, those ones I leave in now too. I'm like,
So-
fuck that, because it either winds up janky, but if it's like one like that, like you
Yeah.
cut those out and
Yeah.
it makes it sound better. But yeah, you're right.
But it
Those-
has yeah.
the
that was a
first
lot.
the first 30 or 40 episodes must sound so fucking jank to just go back and listen to, because of our shit editing, because we were doing
I
it
don't
all
even
on
want to. If I could, I would just burn them to a crisp and then just.
it was all just shit Zoom audio that glitched out half the fucking time. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Oh, So yeah, dude. No, I just have had a blast doing this. Like we just keep talking about kind of just like how you mentioned, just feeling more comfortable in it as we've like developed what we will be doing. And for me, besides forcing my wife to watch a bunch of sports,
For the sake of the pod.
for the sake of the pod, I don't know. I feel like I've learned, even just in this 1 year, a lot more about sports than I did before, like actually having to pay attention. I know Brad has like probably made the greatest improvement in football knowledge in a year, from going to like absolutely nothing to like, I'm like, oh shit. Like
It's been a grind.
Brad's already higher than Jaime.
Nope.
I'm just saying that because he's gonna listen back and be like, you fucker, you're gonna get a text like,
That's fine. It's fine.
Jaime, send the text.
It's fine. I already have his messages muted. It's fine.
But
Yeah,
it got me back into baseball, so that's a plus.
that's good. That's good. Yeah.
I think next
Join
year,
the club.
guys, don't hold us to it. Might be year 3, but hockey will be coming to the podcast. We'll
Yeah.
one
So-
day we will
So while you guys drop into hockey, I'm gonna drop into NBA because like this year I was really focusing on like NFL. Like let's get a firmer grasp on NFL. And next year I'm really gonna have to dive deep into NBA because that's gonna be so that the reason I like fucking MLB is because I can watch this shit all the goddamn time. It's always on.
Well,
So if like with the NBA, I could do that next year when MLB's not on.
the thing about hockey, and we've talked about it, you and I, is like on surface and paper level, it sounds like a really, really fucking cool sport to watch.
Yeah.
And it is. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you get people to legally fight on an ice. Like, not even just like,
Yeah.
oh, craziest NFL fights. No, like they're happening game. And then it's like they're just bashing into each other. People are missing teeth. It's on ice. And I think the issue for me, at least, is it's like just as many games as baseball and NBA. And those are very hard schedules to follow. The one thing about user friendly with NFL and UFC, you just got to plan one day.
Yeah.
Plan one day and you watch it all. You don't miss nothing because you were at work. Like, you just plan one day out of the week and you got it all. Like, to fit it into your workly schedule, like, and you just throughout the week is tough. And then not only that, but it's competing at the same time as as baseball and NBA. And it feels similar, as in like play, like how would I say this? Play speed, essentially, kind of like the rhythm of it. It's on similar level of soccer, where the like I would say hockey has way more frequent goals, but still
For
on the
sure.
level, like, you know what I mean, like low scoring. But with baseball, you just think of summer and like out in the barbecue, you don't really have to pay attention to every bit of the baseball, so that's where the attention gets drawn to. And then basketball is probably the highest sport speed you can almost get.
It's the most user interaction for
Yeah.
sure in
It just like
basketball.
your entertainment value is just constantly high in basketball.
Yeah. Which, I mean, baseball is just paced differently though, but yeah, I like the comparison between the NHL and soccer because both of those are just a lot of moving the
Mhm.
puck or the ball back and
Where
forth.
you have to pay attention because anything can happen in a split second. But goddamn, there's so many long drawn. Like with baseball, you're like, okay, the pitcher's winding up or whatever. Like, or like, you know, he just threw the pitch, so you can kind of like do something for a minute and then look back. Okay, he's about to pitch. You know what spots to pay attention to, and so like that's the issue. It like sports is like, does your audience know what they have to pay attention to and take their breaks? And then how often does something exciting happen? And
Yeah.
it's like you have to find that blend. Baseball found that blend, and hockey for some people is just difficult. To be at a hockey game is amazing.
For sure.
Almost any sporting event to actually be there is just so amazing. Like I'd fuck with golf if I was at a golf tournament. Like,
Or if you just golfed, like, you know, just did it.
I feel like I don't even need to. I can just watch.
Okay.
Just watch. Have a beer, watch.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the hard thing too about those sports like soccer and NHL that we don't really cover is just that it's so tough because we're not like super fans of those sports. So like we
Yeah.
don't know all the rules. We don't know when something weird is happening that we should be paying attention to. Like we just don't know because we haven't dived into those sports. But NHL could be a fun one for next year. If we have a hockey segment on the show, it's gonna be It's gonna be weird. That's when we know we made it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be weird when we're naming guys out of nowhere, like we do, like we do for like baseball. Like, oh, you hear this kid in the minors?
Yeah.
like that, but for NHL.
Oh no! Please no. That's
found
too
this
many fucking
Romanian
Russian
team.
names.
Volshkalashvish.
Oh yeah, we got fucking Dostoevsky over here.
I can't even pronounce most of the UFC names that you're gonna tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
I like what Chance said in SNL. He's like, that is a lot of consonants and no vowels.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, so that's why I like the UFC, is because it's so easy to just know. Like, I mean, there's 500 fighters, but like the best of the best, you just know them. They're just them. We already know, like, baseball, the best of the best is the Dodgers from last year. Like, they're the best of the best. Can you name all 40 men on the Dodgers? No, fucking nobody can. There's so many dudes.
And that's really the thing about UFC, and almost it sounds, when you actually hear it, it just sounds so fucking obvious. But like, the less players on a team, the more you get to know them, because they're like, when you go in NFL or baseball, even basketball, what do they always want their players to say? Oh, it's about the team. Oh, I don't care if I get 0 yards, but we win the game. I'm about the team. Even mostly in NBA, because there's still such a smaller roster, you can still get more showboaty. Like, I know I want my stats kind of like similar to like a Russell Westbrook, or I think like a Jimmy Butler is obviously for the team, but they can be very like cocky and like self-absorbed. And I think because they just have more time to shine. But UFC, man, it's almost like they're a fighter and a team at the same time. They're like both their own GM and their fighter, because they have to create their brand. You know what I mean? Like, how like Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have to create their brand. Well, like, fighters have to do that. They also have to be the Jerry Jones of themselves and create their own brand. Like, Colby Covington is probably the perfect example of like,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a good fighter, but like, fuck, I'm about to get kicked out. Like, no matter how good I am, because I'm just boring as fuck. Like, all right, I need to switch something. Let's get a rebrand. Instead of going from football team, he went to the Redskins. He's like, what's the most controversial thing I can do?
And you're right. I mean, they have to market themselves. Like, you can't just use the, hey, I'm on such and such team as the marketing for me. Like, hey, I play on the Giants. I'm the Giants pitcher. Oh, okay. You're marketed. We all know that. It's like the UFC. Like, I guarantee if you take superstars aside, like MLB, NFL, and UFC, get rid of like Conor McGregor and like the LeBron James and the Tom Brady. You get rid of the superstars. I guarantee you the UFC crowd knows those people a hell of a lot better than anyone on any team. Because like, I'll follow a UFC fighter on Instagram because they're the UFC fighter, but I'll follow Mike Yastrzemski on Instagram because he plays for the Giants. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think you're right. If you're a UFC fan, I think you have a more well-rounded of like, not just the top heavy people in the sport, but just like all around, because of how dynamic and the fights get chosen. But like, I know most fans that just know the players on their team, and it's that. I would always say, for a lot of people growing up, like when they're like, yeah, I'm this fan, and they just started really talking smack against the Raiders, because it always happened. I'd be like, can you even name 5 linemen on your fucking team? Like, that's my go-to, because nobody knows a lineman. And if you knew your lineman, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you can keep talking shit then.
Yeah, your points are valid.
Yeah, your points are fucking valid. We do suck. But I'm like, if you can't even name a fucking lineman on your team, I don't even want to hear how bad my team is. And I'm like, because I can name your lineman. And so,
not to flex on all you fucking sports, I don't know, sports rookies.
know
sports
your lineman,
virgins.
damn it.
Yeah, pick up a team roster. Know your lineman, you fuck.
Johnny?
Yeah, I think it's just more because of like, not that the market themselves too, but like as fans, like when we're watching, the NFL, after every game, it's who they interview, the quarterback or the star player, whoever had a big game. You don't talk to like the left tackle. You don't talk to, these guys. UFC, they're talking to the guy that won the fight. So you get to know, we get to see their personality more. So, and I think that's what attracts us to that. And like why we want to like like Brad said, like, oh yeah, I'll follow this guy on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, you're 100% right. There's a lot of times after the post fight where that's when I'll like find them on Instagram and follow them. That was the same with Kevin Holland. I'm sure we all had that exact same reaction the first time we saw him.
Yeah, I mean, people fall in love.
Or go to hate.
Yeah, that's very valid too.
Yep.
Because also, this craziest thing for me personally, like coming in today's world, we've seen it for a while now. Like I can't say like, oh, coming in to today's world, like, athletes have used social media, but I feel like the like surgence of like Juju capitalizing on like the app of TikTok, and like it just seems like to me athletes have such a such a huge platform, like especially with Twitch and stuff like that, to like make a name without skill. And I don't, not to say like Juju doesn't have skill, but like if you're like a well enough liked person, and it's like Juju now has become on the level of like superstardom, where it's like he's getting video game ads that you would have gone to like MVP candidates. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a very skilled player, and I think mixing that with the publicity has turned him almost on the level of like, I don't even have to win an MVP right now to be as popular as this guy. I'm just popular because people like both of my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that, I think it's getting pretty crazy to see the line, especially when you go into like that Miami center, who was like, I didn't even know that guy had a Twitch or why he would need one, probably just because he likes video games.
Oh, Myers Leonard.
Yeah, I mean, he got in trouble for his, but I'm like, that was
what happened?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna say the word, but he definitely said a Jewish slur that starts with a K.
Ooh.
And like was like, it was so casual too. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna laugh. It's just like when you watch the video,
Wow.
you're holding it in, Johnny, and I know you are. Because he's like just casual. He's like, oh, I'm being shot, and then just goes like, fuck you, you fucking beep. I'm gonna shoot this beep out of the sky, and then just sends a cluster.
What the fuck?
Without missing a beat, dude. Like to just say this fucking bitch. Like just to say that, like he just like this fucking, and then it just like went off.
Jesus, how is that the route you go? Like, why is it anti-Semitism out of all things?
That was my first thought, and I just
so honestly, oddly specific.
I started busting up because I was like, dude, straight up, it reminded me of high school when Dylan, my friend who's black, said if someone called him a jigaboo, he would just start laughing. Like if they were dead serious, it's like, why was that your go-to? Yeah. And that just kind of reminded me of that. Like it was just like, why was that your go-to? What underlying issues do you have? Like,
yeah, honestly, there's a million better words you could have used.
At this point, it's like, dude, to be anti-Semitic, like why? Like what have they done?
Yeah.
I think like the Palestinians are the only ones that could probably have a true hatred for them, but I think that's pretty much like it.
Or the 1700s when we were like all weird and racist against whites. Like this white group didn't like this white group. It's like, you're all the same. Shut the fuck up.
But
oh god, that's bizarre.
I guess that also brings up to a new topic of like popularity amongst social media, as well as like the troubles that comes with it. Because I feel like a lot, like I know we like people complain about cancel culture, but goddamn, like in that instance, like sometimes, like, why did you say it?
Yeah, exactly.
Why? Like I understand, like some people it takes it too far, but I'm like, in other situations, like, why did you think that was a good idea? Like I've been through so many, like throughout high school and elementary, like whatever you say on the internet stays forever, whatever you post, and I'm just like I don't think I would have said that.
Yeah. I don't think that was a good one, man.
Like,
out of all the things you could have said, you could have just said bitch and been a normal person. I'm gonna shoot that bitch out of the air. That's just normal Twitch talk, man. That is. So what happened to him? What wound up?
I think he recently got cut from the team.
So
not recently, but last couple of weeks. He has to do therapy.
He got suspended, and then he got traded and then released.
Holy shit! A team took him just to cut him?
I think it was they paid more to get him off his books, and they packaged him in through that like NBA trade, and then they just cut him.
Oh.
So it's probably like, dude, just get this guy off our books, and then and then like they threw in extra stuff. Like it was threw a lot of stuff, but
Weird.
yeah, that one was crazy. And then I guess Kevin Durant is getting in trouble for going after like, is it like, who's the comedian that's like Rappaport? Not Rappaport. Michael.
Yeah, Rappaport.
It is, huh? His name is always funny to me. But
I want to say it's Rappaport.
I want to say the comedian that's in Atypical. He's also in, what is else he's in? He's another shit.
He's in Prison Break.
Never seen either of those movies.
As
Wait, Prison Break's a show, right?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Say what Atypical. But I guess Kevin Durant like didn't like an interview he gave and like said like super homophobic things, like called him a cum guzzler.
What?
Yeah, that's him.
I've got the picture pulled.
Oh, thanks. Now we're gonna get sued.
Yeah, yeah, because that was a terrifying man.
You're like, cum guzzler.
Yeah.
This is what he looks like.
Yeah.
Is there a cum guzzler in your neighborhood?
It did look like a fucking ghost was approaching me way too fast on Johnny's webcam. It was like that jump scare video of the car driving down the highway and then the ghost.
Oh, that super old video.
Yeah, the meme.
Dude, I love sending, I love
it.
sending shit like that to Gabe and he just seeing him fucking like jump.
Have we told a story about? I like how we're just going so completely off the Kevin Durant.
Yeah. There is no topic for this episode. You're just listening to us ramble.
Did we tell the pod the story about you scaring me in the pantry?
No, I don't think so.
So like it was back in our old apartment, and I'm getting some snacks in the pantry, and it's also where we like keep our trash can. It's just like a small walk-in closet that's like a cube, and I didn't hear him sneak up on me, and I forgot I just watched a scary movie because it was like during Halloween time, and he like he just goes boo or something. He says something and just like it touches me on the shoulder, and I remember my instinct was to like fling myself back into the trash can and go, dear God, no. No.
Yeah, he was like, Brad, he threw himself against the wall and he's like, dear God, no.
His first thought's just to protect his asshole.
Dude, I was like looking back, like right after I just started busting up laughing because I was like, bro, if that was like an actual murderer, that did fucking nothing. Like I tried to win pity points from this demon. I was like, please God, don't hurt.
Yeah, it's like a murderer would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I just shat myself. Can you please leave me some mercy?
Yeah, you're just hoping Mike Myers pities you and walks away.
He's like, oh, this is gonna be a messy cleanup. I'm out.
You'd be excellent in a horror movie since they make stupid decisions.
Oh God, no.
The second time was in this new house, and it was a late night, and I had a lot.
It was New Year's.
It was New Year's, yeah. And so I'm like making a Pop-Tart, and I'm asking everyone if they want a Pop-Tart, and they're like, no. And then I'm like, or Sarah goes, yeah. And then I'm like, all right, do you want yours toasted? And she's like, no. And then so like they all started walking upstairs. And so for some reason, I'm just like, oh, fuck y'all then if you don't want to get your shit toasted. Like, fuck you. And so I'm just cursing at them by myself in the kitchen. And I didn't know Johnny was just sitting at like the just corner. So I couldn't. But honestly, like now that I know the anatomy of my house, if I would have just looked to the left, I could have seen him in the like mirrors of the sliding glass doors. Didn't. And I was like, oh, I need to go to the garage. I left something in there. Still talking to myself with like the Pop-Tarts in my hand. And
so I remember what it was now, Gabe.
What?
You were asking where your Harry Potter wand was.
Oh, that's right.
What the fuck?
So I was gonna get my wand for God knows why. And so I'm probably gonna like abracadabra my entire house right now, and because they didn't want their Pop-Tarts toasted. Like, I like walk around the corner, and he just does the same thing. Boom! I just fall to the ground, just fling all my Pop-Tarts.
Oh.
And dude, I just couldn't stop laughing. It was like 30 minutes, and I was just like, you got me so fucking good, dude. You got me so good. I didn't even know you were there. Like,
He's like, I don't even know I was going to the garage.
God damn it. Is that the attitude a professional Quidditch player should have?
So that's why he was getting his wand.
I was ready to just get a life sentence to Azkaban for not getting toasted pop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Bellatrix got nothing on me, bitch.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
All
Oh,
right. Do we have another topic?
I don't think so. Unless you guys got something you want to talk about. This was hilarious. I had fun this episode.
Nothing. We'll wrap.
Uh,
We'll catch up on all the sports. Talk about the recent fight card and NBA and MLB next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a funny video. I don't know if you saw it, Brad. I was talking to Gabe about it. You see that fan with Bryce Harper?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Acuna.
Yeah, he's like, you'll never be as good as Acuna.
Yeah, you'll never be as good as Acuna. And I think it was John Boy Media posted it, and they were like, "Oh, fan gets the better of Bryce Harper," and he literally turns around and is like, "It's Acuna, Acuna."
Acuna.
Yeah, you can see him. I'm like, I think he's just trying to tell him how to pronounce it. I'll admit one thing I do want to say, because you guys know I'm not a fan of Bryce Harper. The way he's been acting this year with the goofy shoes and the Acuna and all this shit, he's on my let's just see what he does. I'm just gonna grade him going forward from
I've
now.
liked him, but I can see why. You know, I can see the counterpoint to it. But I do agree. I've been loving him even more.
I love his hair.
How do we kick Johnny off?
I just scratch off the part that I say I like his hair too on my notebook.
Don't talk about his hair. That was one thing I saw just out of the corner of my eye. It confused the fuck out of me. Garrett Cole's pitching for the Yankees right now, and just in the dugout, he's standing in front of the giant fan that they have, just tousling his hair the entire time, just going like this and like, I'm Garrett Cole. I'm the best pitcher in the MLB, and I have great hair. It's just so bizarre. It just took me off guard. I was like, I've never seen someone do that.
I feel like you with Bryce Harper is me recently. The hate to love is Greinke. Is it Greinke?
Zach Greinke?
Is that Greinke?
Yeah, he is a lovable guy, and I hate that he is. It's like when people like Patrick Mahomes. I fucking hate that.
Oh yeah, it's just like they're too nice. Fuck
I'm
that
just
guy.
like, oh my god. They're like, he's a stand-up guy. He's awesome. And I'm like, I fucking hate him.
So is Derek Carr.
Dude, it was real bad when it was Tim Tebow because like
Oh,
all my Christian family was
Oh,
like, love Tim
shit.
Tebow, and me and my
Tim
dad were like,
Tebow was so bad. It's like, yeah, but he can't throw the football.
I was like, I hate Tim Tebow. Like, not even just as a Denver, as a just a football. Like, I hate Tim Tebow. And they're like, "Are you Satanist?" I'm like, "No, I can't stand him."
It's if hating Tim Tebow makes me a Satanist, I don't want to be anything else. Like, fucking go.
Give me that
Isn't he-
Raider jersey.
I think
with
he's
the pentagram.
playing for the Mets this year.
yeah, he
No,
retired.
He retired. He's
Oh,
done
he
with
retired?
sports. He's
Yeah.
probably gonna be like a minister. Let's be real.
Yeah, he's gonna touch boys or.
Well, he still works with
something.
he still works with ESPN doing the
Yeah,
college
I-
football.
Damn.
Oh, I think he is an announcer.
Yeah, he does the college football. It's like
Really?
Saturdays,
Good for
whatever.
him.
Hmm?
I like him as a person.
And
I hate him as a player.
Yeah, he does that for ESPN, and I think he's a broadcaster for Florida, the Gators.
Mm.
I think.
Well, either way, hopefully he does good in that because he sure wasn't good in his professional playing career. That's for
He is
sure.
not. I thought baseball. I was kind of hoping.
That is always kind of cool when an athlete can do both, though. When they
Mhm.
but Michael
Kyler.
Jordan played both.
Kyler,
Yeah,
almost
Kyler played both, but Kyler didn't play both
Deion
professionally.
Sanders.
could have, and he could have been an A's.
Yeah, that actually would have been really fucking. Can you imagine? The end of the season would get a little funky because obviously you'd have to skip October to go to
Mm-hmm.
play baseball, which kind of fucking sucks if you're in the playoff run. But
Mm.
you guys are the A's, and it doesn't look like that anyway.
You're right.
I think the best to do it were who? Probably Deion and Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, because Michael Jordan did not do good with the White Sox.
Mm.
Deion was legit, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. Didn't he get in trouble because he played a baseball game and then went to play with the Falcons that same day or something? Or he missed one of the games to be at the other game?
No,
or-
you're correct. If it's not him, it's Bo, but I know one of them did.
Wow,
And I want to say it's Deion. Deion played a baseball and a football game at the same day.
that's wild.
Don't know how a man can do that, but he did do it.
Hopefully by playing the baseball game first.
I would think you would have.
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, that would be rough the other way around.
I mean, he was
And
pretty
he-
good though. He was
Yeah.
pretty good at football. So
He was a corner, so there's a chance that he probably didn't take that. I could feel like Deion's the type of person that's like, I didn't swat it down. I ain't tackling, bitch. And just runs off.
Did you guys hear about Trevor Bauer's balls?
Oh, yes. What ended up happening with that?
Okay,
Brett,
so
check this out.
oh shit, are they from the same year?
This is his rookie card on for the Falcons, and this is just his Yankees card.
That's
Wow.
fucking cool.
It is really
Yeah.
cool. I thought they were both rookies too.
Yeah, so Trevor Bauer's balls, because the MLB's cracking down on the pine tar this year, and Trevor Bauer was the one who he came out like in his first year in the league against pine tar and was like, all these fucking bitches are throwing pine tar on their hands, and you say it's illegal, like fucking do something about it. Like they're all doing it. Like he said, I think you can get up to 300 RPMs more on all your pitches just by using this mix they're doing of pine tar, rosin, and boiled down Coca-Cola. That's the secret formula pitchers use to get like that real sticky, good. But the MLB's cracking down on it and taking balls out of play to test them. Trevor Bauer, because he came out against it and finally, like last year when he won the Cy Young, said, fuck it, I'm just going to use the sticky stuff then. Fuck you guys if you're not going to do anything about it. And suddenly had a 300 RPM jump in all his pitches. So clearly he was using the sticky stuff. So they pulled his ball out of play along with a bunch of other pitchers, but Trevor Bauer's the big name because he talked about it. And they're testing it. And even his fucking agent, Rachel Luba, sent out a tweet saying like, they're not going to do fucking shit. Like, even if they find something, they're not going to do fucking shit. She deleted it later because it's not a great look, but yeah.
Holy shit.
After that, a pornographic campsite sent him a job offer saying that Trevor Bauer could be the chief ball officer and tell him all about how to get sticky stuff on and off their balls.
That's
It was
pretty hilarious,
fantastic.
actually.
That would be great. I feel like Trevor Bauer would do that just for the memes.
Speaking of porn,
Oh, God.
We're on this again.
no, but
3 in a row.
LaMelo is rumored to be dating Tiana Trump.
Who?
Tiana Trump, bro, porn star.
Oh, that's a porn star I'm not aware of. There are gaps. In my
I
knowledge.
don't know. I don't know that person either, but
I mean, I
she's
will.
got a
I've
good
heard-
head on herself.
That's yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure she does. That's kind of what you have to get into that line of work. Damn, that's so to each their own, but I'd be a little weirded out dating a porn star.
Not this one.
Not this one? Okay. All right.
How do you know, Gabe?
I'm gonna have to do some
I'm
quick
assuming.
Googling. I'm gonna have to do some Googling later tonight. Anyway, getting into some weird conversation now. I don't know. What do we talked about Trevor Bauer's balls. That was all I really wanted to bring up this week.
I'm good.
Are we wrapping?
I think so.
All right. Johnny, you want to lead us out?
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed our little weird conversations that took a turn for the worse. But join us next week. We'll be back to our, giving our weekly updates on all sports. If you're watching or listening on Spotify and or Apple Music or wherever you're listening it to, if you like your podcast, like you like your sex, watch it raw on YouTube.
Ooh,
I like that.
I like that a lot. That was pretty good.
Thank you. I would think of it for a while.
Damn, that was really good.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, damn it. That was the wrong button.
I like how you both looked at me